Bien le bonjour and welcome to this behind the scenes bonus video for the Limplage Company beach episode. At first I wanted to cover every details, but I realized it would have turned into one of my 45 to 50 minutes long videos on my Baguette Fantasy channels. Instead, I will focus on a few questions I got in the comments and some scenes, on top of explaining why 3 got cut. I'm lucky enough to live in a town not too far from a beach, but I'm not like Kiryu Kazuma in Yakuza 3, who literally has to walk 10 seconds to reach what looks like heaven on earth. I have to take public transport and it usually requires 30 to 40 minutes, but there are more issues. 1. The weather is fickle sometimes, and by the time I get there, it becomes too cloudy, or worse, it rains. This happened twice. I even made one post on my channel and my Twixter complaining about that. 2. It's a public beach and I filmed my stuff during the summer holiday. Yeah, so a lot of time was spent on finding good angles or places to be sure nobody else would get in the frame, even if it was not as crowded as, say, Hawaii. That's why that intro looks like I'm half pointing toward the sky and why the waves scene is so close to the ground. At least I didn't bother anybody. Talking about the waves, I first wanted to have one scene in pseudo stop motion where Dawn runs towards the water, then a second where she runs away scared. But the results looked horrible. In the end, I used what should have been the second scene first, then I reversed it and sped it up when she was running away scared. Talking about Dawn being scared by the water, it was a rather simple effect to make in Vegas Pro. Green screen, then adding the basic noises preset while changing the color in red. Okay, you're more interested in the weird sound. Big spoilers if you haven't finished Kanto 7 and the LCB checkup Intervallo after, skip to this timecode if that's your case. Well, many years ago, I caught a really nasty cold, and after a few days of my body trying to cough my lungs inside out, I realized that I was making a weird wheezing sound when exhaling. So I wondered, hey, what if I recorded myself exhaling directly into the mic of my phone? I could use that for a spooky scene or horror joke for a Halloween-related video on my Baguette Fantasy channels. I genuinely forgot about those 2 recordings until I was editing that part with Dawn. So I took those voice records, put some filters, distortion, speed up, slow down, reverse, etc. over a few layers, and used it to emulate what I thought could be the screams Dawn is hearing after Kanto 7. To tell you the truth, I really didn't want to risk having my plushies damaged by seawater, so I thought it could be a good excuse for why they didn't swim around in the sea. Because I know she isn't scared during Kanto 5, thank you! Now let's quickly talk about the
beach volleyball
scenes. My brother was nice enough to come and help me record those. He was the one throwing the ball over the net and on the sand, even if it took multiple attempts each time. I wanted to have the right angle of impact of the ball on the sand, then try to throw Dawn and edit it in a way that looked like she jumped right after the ball hit. The first scene was almost perfect and Dawn landed correctly in one throw. But the second scene took me many attempts. It was only when rewatching at home that I realized that the sand has been disturbed so much it was too jarring to use. So I ended up cutting it and just reused the first scene after mirroring it. We were actually quite lucky because when we arrived to the public beach volleyball field, there was one court with nobody, so we could record the ball over the net in peace, then we went to a corner for the ball hitting the sand parts. Last scene I want to cover is the Meursault Pursuant's ego skill. Here's the original in-game scene I recorded by targeting one of those chicken monsters. At first, I was genuinely trying to mask edit pixel by pixel, frame by frame, same for the ball and Meursault's sunglasses. However, after a few days and real life keeping me quite busy, I felt like I should cut corners and be somewhat sloppy if I wanted to release the video before 2026. It's going so fast anyway that I bet none of you would have noticed if I didn't point it out. And here you go, I hope you like this behind the scenes bonus feature. If there's a demand, I can make more of these in the future, even though it will depend on the length and overall theme of the videos. Take care and have fun. Au revoir.